Hello students, this will be your first class of political science in class 12. We'll start off with part B, chapter 1. The reason we are choosing part B is, first of all, you need to know about your own country. Yes, first of all, we'll learn about India, what happened just before independence and soon after independence, which is of prime importance to each and every student irrespective of their stream. So this will be a very interesting topic for you all because a lot of things are unknown to you people. So we'll start off with the first chapter, and the name of the chapter is Challenges of Nation Building. I hope all the students have downloaded the textbook, the ebook that I have sent in the group, and also the explanation that I've sent. I have opened both of them in front of you so that there is no issues while you watch the video. So first of all, let me give you an introduction about this chapter. In this chapter, we'll learn about three main things, as you can see in the explanation PDF. First of all, we'll talk about the various challenges that India faced soon after independence. I'll be using both Hindi and English because a lot of students are from vernacular medium, so it'll be to make it easy for them. Three challenges basically were faced by India. First of all, the first immediate challenge was to shape the nation that was united yet accommodative of the diversity existing in the society and eradication of poverty and unemployment. Second was to establish democracy, and the third was to ensure development. What it is, we will learn as the chapter progresses. Then we'll move on to the second part, that is partition and rehabilitation. What happened just before independence and immediately after independence. This will also include the consequences of partition, and then we'll talk about the instrument of accession. What is this instrument of accession? I'll give you a YouTube link of my channel. I have explained this in detail. Then we'll talk about reorganization of states, which most of you do not know. This is a very interesting part, and then we'll sum up this chapter. In the introductory video, I told you about three challenges, and now we'll be talking about the three challenges in details. The biggest issue that India faced was keeping intact the unity of the country. Why? Because India was a diverse country where people spoke many different languages, followed different religions. Experts and scholars thought that India can never stay united because with such diversity, it is not possible for a country to survive in the long run. But today we can proudly say we did face all the challenges and we are standing where we are now. Having said that, in those times, even the administration, the government also thought that it was a difficult task. Why? Because with the recent partition of India and Pakistan proved their worst fears true. वो लोग डर रहे थे कि इस तरीके की डाइवर्स कल्चर की वजह से इंडिया एक साथ नहीं रह सकती, और ये जो वो सोच रहे थे ये एक हद तक सही भी था, क्योंकि कुछ दिनों पहले ही हमारे देश का दो टुकड़ा हो चुका था, इंडिया और पाकिस्तान। मतलब कुछ हद तक वो लोग सही थे। ये था हमारा पहला चैलेंज। दिस वाज अ फर्स्ट चैलेंज, दैट कीपिंग द यूनिटी ऑफ द कंट्री इंटैक्ट. नाउ विल टॉक अबाउट द सेकंड चैलेंज. The second challenge is directly related to what you have studied last year. Yes, quite boring subject. Yes, democracy, rights, duties, this, that, articles and sections. Yes, it is quite boring, but this, what you have studied last year will help you now. How? Just go through the second challenge. You have already studied the Indian Constitution. You know that the Indian Constitution grants fundamental rights and extends the right to vote to every citizen. India adopted representative democracy based on parliamentary form of government. This feature ensured that the political competition would take place in democratic framework. See, one big issue was that with this for the people, to the people, by the people thing is you have to conduct elections with universal adult franchise keeping in mind. In India, 18 years was the limit. But illiteracy was at its peak. Poverty was skyrocketing. In such a situation, establishing democracy was going to be a very, very difficult task. So, this was the second challenge. Third, as I said, poverty was at its peak. So, the third challenge was to remove poverty as much as possible and as soon as possible with various policies, with various welfare schemes by the government. They also tried to minimize the impact of partition on the people of India. So, this was the third challenge. To sum up, the first challenge was to shape the nation, to keep the nation united. Second challenge was to establish democracy, and third was to ensure development and remove poverty. Because without development, a nation cannot progress. In the next part, we'll study about the partition and what happened during and after partition. Now we're coming to a very, very saddening part. Yes, the partition of India and Pakistan. On 15 August 1947, not one but two nations came into existence. How? It was actually a theory that was advanced by Muslim League headed by Muhammad Ali Jinnah. He said that India consisted of not one but two not one but two people, that is Hindus and Muslims. And they demanded creation of a new country for the Muslims. The Congress party, who was in power then, said this was not possible. They directly opposed this theory and the demand to create a separate country by the name of Pakistan. But later on, various political developments during the 1940s and pressure from the British led to the creation of a new country which is now known as Pakistan. Thus, it was decided that what was still then known as India would now be divided into two countries. This division was very, very painful because it was on the ground of religion. Communal violence was spread out throughout the country. This idea, though, might look simple, but there were huge difficulties in implementing it. Because as per the Muslim League, Pakistan will be declared on the basis of population. That is, जिस जगह पे मुस्लिम पॉपुलेशन ज़्यादा होगा उसको पाकिस्तान डिक्लेयर कर दिया जाएगा. बट दिक्कत क्या थी? There was no single area where the Muslim population was in majority. कहीं पे बहुत ज़्यादा था, कहीं पे थोड़ा कम ज़्यादा था. तो to find out exactly which place to or which area to be declared as Pakistan became very, very difficult. There were two major places which consisted majority of Muslim people. One was in the west, जो कि अभी पाकिस्तान बन चुका है, and one was in the east, that is the eastern part of Bengal. आप लोगों ने कभी सोचा इस बंगाल का नाम वेस्ट बंगाल कैसे पड़ा? ये तो बंगाल होना चाहिए हिसाब से. But due to partition, the East Bengal part was given to Pakistan. हुआ क्या था? They said that, as I said earlier, the main ground of division was majority of Muslim population. तो दो जगह पे मुस्लिम पॉपुलेशन ज्यादा थे, एक था वेस्ट में जो कि अब पाकिस्तान बन गया है, और एक था ईस्ट में जो कि अभी बांग्लादेश बना हुआ है, पहले ईस्ट पाकिस्तान था. तो उन लोगों के हिसाब से ये दो जगह उन लोगों को चाहिए, बट इट वॉज वेरी वेरी डिफिकल्ट. एंड वेस्ट एंड ईस्ट पाकिस्तान वॉज सेपरेटेड बाय अ long expanse of Indian territory. उससे भी important बात कि not all Muslim wanted to go to Pakistan. Yes, there were a few, there were some Muslim people who wanted to go to Pakistan, but a lot of Muslim people took India as their country and they wanted to stay in India. So it became very difficult to divide the people. But later on, it got divided into two countries, one country with two different places, one in the east known as East Pakistan, one in the west known as Pakistan. The third problem was that two of the Muslim majority provinces of India, British India, Punjab and Bengal, had very large areas where non-Muslims were in majority. Eventually, it was decided that these two provinces would be bifurcated according to religious majority at the district or even lower level. The partition of these two provinces caused deepest trauma of partition. Here we are talking about Pakistan and Bengal, Pakistan and Bangladesh, the current Bangladesh. पंजाब का दो टुकड़ा करा गया वहाँ पे, एक पार्ट चला गया पाकिस्तान की तरफ, बंगाल का भी दो टुकड़ा चला गया, एक पार्ट चला गया ईस्ट पाकिस्तान की तरफ. सो दिस वॉज वेरी वेरी डिफिकल्ट बिकॉज ऐसा नहीं था कि हमारे देश में कोई भी एक जगह पे सिर्फ मुस्लिम लोग रहते थे जो कि पाकिस्तान में जाना चाहते, उनके बीच में बहुत हिंदू लोग भी थे. सो इट वॉज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू पुल आउट दोज हिंदू पीपल फ्रॉम देयर, सो दे डिडंट वांट टू लीव देयर हाउसेस. इट वॉज वेरी वेरी नॉर्मल, स्वाभाविक था कि कोई अपना घर छोड़ के कैसे जाएगा. सो दे स्टेड देयर. कुछ मुस्लिम लोग थे जो इंडिया में थे, दे सेड दैट इंडिया इज आवर कंट्री, विल स्टे देयर. तो यहाँ पे एक इश्यूज था कि मुस्लिम लोग चाहते थे कि वो लोग वहाँ आ जाए, तो वो नहीं जा रहे थे वहाँ पे. तो एक बहुत बड़ा मतलब एक बहुत डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन क्रिएट हो गया था गवर्नमेंट के लिए इस चीज को सॉर्ट आउट करना. This was related to the fourth and the most intraceable of all the problems of partition. This was the problem of minorities on both sides of the border. Lakhs of Hindus and Sikhs in the area that were now in Pakistan, and an equally large number of Muslims on the Indian side of Punjab and Bengal found themselves trapped. Obvious. Supposedly आप कराची में रह रहे हो, which is in India, and then suddenly the government announces this Karachi will be Pakistan, separated from India. तो obviously जो लोग हैं वो अपना घर छोड़कर तो नहीं जाएंगे, अपना घर बार छोड़ के कौन इंडिया जाएगा. इतना मेहनत से अपना घर बनाया, अपना प्रॉपर्टीज वहाँ पे है, बच्चे वहाँ पे पढ़ रहे हैं, so it is very difficult for them. तो ये एक बहुत बड़ा मुद्दा बन गया था क्योंकि बहुत संख्या में सिख्स, हिंदूज, मुस्लिम्स, एवरीवन फेस प्रॉब्लम. ऐसा नहीं कि सिर्फ मुस्लिम्स को प्रॉब्लम हो रहा था कि हिंदूज को प्रॉब्लम हो रहा था, सबको इक्वल प्रॉब्लम हो रहा था. देयर वर अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल इन हिंदू मेजॉरिटी एरिया में बहुत सारे मुस्लिम लोग थे, मुस्लिम मेजॉरिटी एरिया में बहुत सारे हिंदूज एंड सिख्स थे. सो इट वाज एन ओवरऑल chaotic सिचुएशन. And in some situation it became that they discovered that they became an undesirable aliens in their own home. कुछ लोग जो पाकिस्तान में थे, कुछ मतलब Sikhs, Hindus and all, they found themselves, they became alien in their own country. Later on, things were sorted, not sorted, I won't say sorted because a lot of atrocities, killings happened in the upcoming days. We'll talk about it later in consequences of partition. You can see the train in picture. I think you do not need any more explanation when you see the train. People inside, above, and the partition, hanging outside. Just look at the situation. This is one train. This is just one train full of refugees in 1947. Imagine the situation of the people at that point. It was the most largest and most abrupt and unplanned transfer of population in the history of humanity. Killings and atrocities were at its peak. People were killed in the name of religion. Not only Hindus but Muslims. Amritsar and Kolkata were divided into communal zones. The Muslim people would avoid going to Hindu majority area, and the Hindus would avoid going to Sikhs or going to Muslim majority areas. Same happened with Sikhs also. Many people had to abandon their home and cross the border. They had to walk miles and miles to reach India, and some had to walk miles to reach Pakistan. The local authority could not help them because at that point, as you know, it was unplanned. It became very difficult for even the administration to carry on this transfer of population. Thousands of women were abducted on both sides of the border. Forced marriages became very common. In many cases, women were killed by their own family member to preserve the dignity of the family. हाँ, हमारे देश में एक है ना कि लेडीज लोग को लेके थोड़ा मतलब इज्जत होते हैं, औरत घर की इज्जत होती है, सो इससे पहले कि उनको कुछ हो जाए उनको मार दो. तो इस तरीके का थिंकिंग था. इमेजिन द काइंड ऑफ थिंकिंग द पीपल हैड एट दैट टाइम. थैंक्स with the passage of time everything has changed. Imagine we staying in those times. Imagine a woman being killed just to preserve the family honor. Many children were separated from their parents too. Somehow few people tried to cross the border and reach their destination, but for lakhs and lakhs of refugees it became a dream. Writers and poets, filmmakers from both sides, from India and Pakistan, expressed the disgrace of the situation. You can see in the picture Mahatma Gandhi visiting Noakhali, a place in Bangladesh in 1947, talking with people, taking their grievances, but again in vain. When recounting the trauma of partition, they have often used the phrases that the survivors themselves used to describe the partition as division of hearts. Remember, the word used is division of hearts, not division of country. It was not merely a division of properties or buildings or liabilities, it was also the hearts that were divided. What also got divided was financial assets. Small things like paper clips. Imagine paper clips, typewriters, chairs, tables, books, musical instrument of the police band were also divided. Even government employees were also divided between India and Pakistan. It was estimated that this partition between India and Pakistan forced about 80 lakhs people to migrate from India to Pakistan and Pakistan to India. Between 5 to 10 lakh people were killed during this transfer process. Not to talk about the financial strain that the economy suffered. The leader of the Indian national struggle did not believe in the two-nation theory, and yet partition on religion basis had taken place. Did that make India a Hindu nation automatically? Even after large-scale migration of Muslim to newly created Pakistan, the Muslim population in India accounted for 12% of total population in 1951. So how could the government of India treat its Muslim citizen and other religious minorities, say suppose Sikhs, Christians, Jains, Buddhists, Parsis and Jews? The partition had already created several conflicts between two communities. This was a very, very difficult situation for the entire country to face. And then there was the Muslim League led by Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who was creating issues one after the other. Moving on, in the next part, I hope this is clear to you. In the next part, we'll talk about integration of princely state, because I don't want to continue this topic and move on to integration of princely state, because this part of the chapter is completely separate from princely state, so it will be very confusing if I carry on from here on. We'll do it in the next class. We'll talk about what is princely state and what is integration of princely states. What is this 565 figure you can see right here, 565? What is this? So if you have any doubts regarding this consequences of partition, or any other doubts regarding the 3 challenges, you can message me at any time. You can mail me, you can call me. You have my number. Or if you need the notes, if you are making any notes, you're preparing any notes, you can send me the notes on WhatsApp. I'll just go through them and tell you if it requires any changes. So for now, take a break, just go through the video, go through the book and this explanatory PDF that I've sent you. And if you have any doubt, do message me. Thank you.